Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Oh, well, I hope when it's all done, you come back and enjoy it. That's what it's here for. Okay. Take care. We'll just now, let's put this one as far over as we can here. And then we'll move that guy over just a little bit. And then we'll see what we do with this one.
So move that one over to the middle of this window.
We'll see. Let's wait and see till we get those two.
So, like here?
Chip the apple. Like therapy? No, just for the Hi, my name is Janet Bones, and I'm Walton County Master Gardener, and we're here at A Child's Voice doing a very special project, installing a peaceful and welcoming garden to this wonderful organization. First, I'm going to turn it over to these two ladies to tell a little bit about A Child's Voice.
So my name is Deanna Fort. I am the Director of Clinical Services here at A Child's Voice. And so we are a nonprofit organization here in Social Circle, and we serve children and families when they are involved in investigations of child abuse. So we provide various services for them to help them kind of work through the process and move through healing. Those services include forensic interviews, forensic medical exams, family advocacy and support services, therapy, as well as prevention and education services.
And so because of the nature of what we do, it's kind of hard to have volunteers. And so we were thinking about this recently, about how to involve our community more in what we do without direct contact with our families and children. As you can see, we didn't do it before, but it's beautiful right now. So before this got put in, it was just a very generic, clean walkway into our building. And we really wanted a space that once our families drove up and they saw how beautiful the outside of our building was, a little bit of their stress just decreases. And so we reached out to the Master Gardeners, and Jan has been wonderful about teaming with us on here. And so the idea is we want sponsors for this. So we have more spaces in front of this building as well as our building across the way. If you go to our website at A Child's Voice Child Advocacy Center, there's a link you can click on for our garden, and there's different ways to sponsor, all different levels of sponsorship.
And I just want to say the Walton County Master Gardeners were honored to participate in this program. We did the design, the planning, sourcing all the materials, along with the installation. And it did turn out lovely. We've got a wide range of flowering shrubs and perennials to pull in pollinators, a continuity of blooms from early spring to late fall, and we really hope that it provides some relief and comfort to the clients of this wonderful organization. In addition to thanking all the Master Gardeners we had out here working, I think there were about 10 of us, I want to thank our community partners. Ace Social Circle provided plant material free of charge for us for this project, along with Master's Landscape Supply at 278 and 11 provided the compost for this project. We just love our community partners. And we hope if you're driving by, stop by and see this gorgeous garden and consider making a donation for future phases. We hope to do the next phase in the fall.
Today on Feed the Goats, we're going to see if goats like out-of-date taco shells. Let's see. Oh, you like the taco shell. Beth, you like taco shell? Yeah. I bet it's the salt in here that y'all like, isn't it? Salt. getting greedy, aren't you, girl? You really like taco shells, don't you? Well, they like taco shells. So, this is Paul Mullins with Walton Entertainment on Feed the Goats.
Come here. We appreciate you guys coming here and supporting us as we open up this practice officially. It's been a busy few months trying to get everything set up and all squared away. We thank you guys for coming and showing us support and love, and we look forward to the future of what's going to happen next. Appreciate it.
Pretty much what Dr. Noha said. I'm very much looking forward to helping out in this community. I appreciate the support as well. It's been a great experience thus far, and I can hope to see this place thrive. I'm sure it will with all your support. So thank you.
2, 3.
That's cut sharp. That's impressive.
Hi, I'm Dr. James Steinberg. We just opened up a practice in Monroe. Standing beside me is Dr. Kevin Noha. He enjoys doing joint replacements. I do sports and some joint replacements as well. Both of us do fracture work, but we're very excited and happy to be here in Monroe and look forward to helping the community and serve this area for all their orthopedic needs. Our office is open Monday through Friday, essentially 8 to 5 p.m.
Where's it located?
Located here in Monroe and off Spring Street. We're located with Piedmont Walton Hospital.
Okay. In the annex over from Piedmont Walton.
Yes, yes, sir.
And telephone number?
All right, so our address here is 215 1B West Spring Street here in Monroe, Georgia. Our phone number here is 678-214-6118.
Hey Walton County, it's Patrice Broughton, your Public Information Officer here with your May County update. We're going to start with our Tuesday, May 2nd meeting. We had 2 meetings this month, so it's been a little bit busy, but I'm sure you'll be able to look at all of the information either on our webpage or on Facebook if you need any further details on some of these items. So we started with our Planning Commission recommendations, and it was a denial of a conditional use for outside storage, and the applicant was Michael Greenlee, and the owner was Timur Jamshidi, and the property was located at Lance Court and Highway 20 in District 2. The Board of Commissioners did not take the Planning Commission recommendation for denial and instead approved it with conditions. We had another Planning Commission recommendation for the approval of a rezone of 2 acres from 1 acre to R1 and 1 acre to B2, and the applicant was Farouk Khan and the owner was Ricky Cobb. The property was located at 206 HD 8th Road and Highway 78, and the Board of Commissioners did take the Planning Commission recommendation and approved the rezone. We had a request from Finance to approve an application for an ARPA grant for Judge Ken Wynn, and it was approved. And we also had the presentation of the proposed fiscal year 24 budget. That budget can be found online under Finance, and there is a link to the proposed fiscal year 24 budget. There you can find all of the line items from every department in the county and what the commissioners have deemed to be a sufficient budget for the upcoming year. If you do not have access to the internet and cannot pull up the budget, there is a printed version held at the Walton County Historic Courthouse, and you can come in anytime between the hours of 8 and 4 and take a look at that budget. And if you have any questions, you can call the finance department and they will be more than happy to answer any of those questions. So we had an approval of the administrative consent agenda. And then we had an adoption of a resolution for approving the execution and delivery of an intergovernmental contract with the Walton County Public Facilities Authority to ratify certain actions previously taken by the county to consent to the authority taking certain actions and for other purposes. And the Walton County Public Facilities Authority is the entity that takes a look at all of the infrastructure projects in the county and for any reason makes the decision to finance those projects and either through governmental funds or through bonds. So you can take a look at that resolution online. We had a presentation for our 2023 benefits renewal from the Human Resources Department from MSI, and it was approved. And we had a ratification of acquisition of 192.98 acres from Baker's Farm Nature Reserve LLC and Jacks Creek Reserve LLC for $325,000 for the public safety complex and transaction with the Atlantic Coast Conservancy to remove the conservation easement from 80.251 acres for $1.6 million, and that contract was approved. We had an acceptance of bids and proposals for the Social Circle Community Center Walking Trail from Hammond Grading in the amount of $64,170, and it was approved. So at this meeting, they announced the Public Facilities Authority meeting for May 16th at 4:30 and also a board meeting at 5 o'clock. So on May 16th, we did have that board meeting, and it was a relatively short meeting, but they did hold a public hearing for the fiscal year 2024 budget. Again, that budget is online, and there is a printed copy here at the Walton County Historic Courthouse for anyone who would like to take a look at it. So they held the public hearing for that, and then there was a presentation for the Hard Labor Creek Reservoir Recreational Area grant application by County Manager John Ward. That presentation can be found online if anyone would like to take a look at it. And there was a resolution for pre-application funding for the Hard Labor Creek Recreational Area, and it's for the Land and Water Use Conservation Fund, and that was adopted, and that will allow them to file application for grant funds for that project. And then we had a resolution for a supplemental resolution to approve the final terms for the Walton County Public Facilities Authority revenue bonds for Walton County Project Series 2023 and other related items, and it was adopted. And then we had a resolution for capital improvement elements transmittal impact fee program, and that was adopted. Again, all of those documents can be found online under those meeting dates. So if you go to the Walton County webpage and look under government for agenda items and minutes, you can click on the agenda packet and it will show you every agenda item and the supporting documentation, including the presentation as well as those resolutions. We're keeping busy here in Walton County. We've had several ribbon cuttings since our last update. We had a ribbon cutting at the extension office, so they are up and running out there at Criswell Park. We had our ribbon cutting for the Senior Center and Social Circle, so they are up and running. And we are also up and running in our new planning office here on Court Street. We're hoping to plan a ribbon cutting for them soon. But as always, if you have any questions about the operations of the county, you're more than welcome to come to the historic courthouse between the hours of 8 and 4, or you can just give us a call at 770-267-1301. And we hope everyone is having a happy spring.
In our club for 30 years now. So, and he's the guy over here that's recording, so he's going to have to step from behind the recorder and come over here and accept his recognition of 30 years. Thanks for your membership. Has it always been with the club here in Monroe? Yep. That's always been here. So, very good. Thanks for all you've done over the years and what you'll continue to do in the future. So.
It's slowing down.
I keep telling bad jokes.
And recording.
Even worse. Everybody knows there's not a dull moment when Paul's around, so he keeps us energetic. So. Other than that, a couple of reminders coming up. Golf tournament August 11th on a Friday night. It's coming soon. And a couple weeks prior to that, 5K July 2nd.
22nd.
July 22nd. That's the 5K.
And I've got registration forms and some sponsorship forms right here. So, and then I'll email out the link, and I'm updating a flyer that'll have like a QR reader and everything on there too that we can put in different businesses or whatever. So I'll email that out as well. But before you leave, we got sponsorship form and registration form. So. Oh, yeah.
Yep, and if everybody will grab one of those from West, that would be great, and look for sponsors. And we typically make the most money on the sponsors. The runners are just kind of I don't want to say a consolation, but in a way it is. So the money's made with sponsors, so we'll everybody try to get a sponsor, that'd be great.
Yeah, we've got roughly, if we could get, like I said, sponsors in within the month or by the end of the
speaker, let him share all he wants to share. Right. Other than that, no. Chief Watts, thank you for being here today, and we appreciate what you do.
It's a good day to visit. I think you're going to get the down and dirty.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we try to skirt around all the down and dirty.
He's going to take it. All right, y'all, this guy, he's got a gun.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you will need a permit. Just go ahead and go on record with that. Now, for those who don't know me, my name is R.B. Watts. I do serve as the chief of police here for the city of Monroe. This is my 21st year with the city. September will be the 5th year of serving as the chief of police. Just to give you a little bit about my background. I served in the United States Marine Corps from 92 to 96 with 3rd Battalion 6 Marines. I was a machine gunner in the Marine Corps, served overseas in Mogadishu, Somalia, right after the Black Hawk Down incident. You guys, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I served there. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I joined law enforcement in 97. I went through Northeast Georgia up here in Athens, and I was with Greene County Sheriff's Office at the time. And my background is narcotics, canine. I was a canine officer for many years. I used to catch drug runners on I-20 doing drug interdiction. I don't know, do any of you guys remember the old show, World's Wildest Police Chases? Oh, yeah. I was actually on a couple episodes of that. So that's a long time ago. I'm kind of telling a little bit on my age, but I came to Monroe in 2002. Former Chief Keith Glass hired me then. I was still a canine officer, and a lot of you here know how Monroe was back in 2002, and some of the areas were some really problematic areas. And so we immediately got pretty aggressive on a lot of the drug and high crime areas in the city. I was here 2 years. He went ahead and promoted me to the rank of lieutenant. I ran a unit called Joint Operations, which focused mainly on narcotics and our DUI task force. And we were just executing search warrants left and right, making arrests, and then it grew from there. And I promoted on up to a captain over our criminal investigation division, then over our administration division, and then later on became a major over daily operations, and then eventually made it as assistant chief and as chief. So I love what I do here in the city of Monroe. I love the city of Monroe, and let me just say this, and as simple as that may sound, the fact that you guys started out your meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and with a prayer, I mean, that does my heart good, because I think that's something that's being lost in this country. So, you know, I just applaud you as a group that you still recognize that as a priority in our lives, because it is. And it's up to us to be able to show our youth the same thing. Like we were just sitting there talking to this table about our kids and stuff and raise them up with morals and values. That's so important, so important. And I think this country's getting away from that. So continue to do that, and I greatly appreciate it. What I wanted to talk to you today about, if you guys want to talk about the incident on Saturday night, we can talk about the incident. I have a separate sheet on everything that went on with that. But what I want to talk about is just what it is we're doing as an organization here at the City of Monroe Police Department. And just kind of give you some stats. You know, I'm 50 now, so I have to wear these readers. So, our police department is comprised of 60 personnel, which is 3 divisions. That's our admin division, our criminal investigation division, and our uniform patrol division. Which my uniform patrol is all the officers you see in the patrol vehicles out patrolling the streets. And amongst those, we have the 4 canine units. I don't know if you've seen that, but at any time in a 24-hour period, I have a canine accessible at my disposal. Those dogs are trained on narcotics, they're trained on patrol and tracking. So if I have a barricaded person inside a building, he doesn't want to come out, I can send the dog in. If I have an elderly person who has wandered off from a nursing home or something, we can track, we can find them. And it's also utilized for if we stop someone, we suspect them of having drugs in the vehicle, we can run the dog around the vehicle to see if it detects any one of the odors of cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, or heroin. And just to give you a little side note on that, your vehicle, you have expectation of privacy. However, the air in your vehicle and around your vehicle, you do not. So the Supreme Court upholds that if a drug detection dog has been trained to do such, and it positively alerts on the vehicle, it gives us probable cause to search that car then. So you'd be surprised how many arguments we get in. We're like, you're not searching my car. And I said, well, that dog says we are. So that's what we're going to go with. Recently, what we just implemented this year is a 4-man traffic unit. I don't know if y'all remember the motorcycle that the Walton County Sheriff's Office had. They had a brand new one down there that the Sheriff, Joe Chapman, had won at an event. The motorcycle had like 4,000 or 5,000 miles on it. We recently purchased it. We just lettered it up with our own logo. So we're going to start utilizing it downtown. You're going to see a lot more presence from Monroe PD downtown, merely because of loud music, loud exhaust. And I tell my guys this, and I want to be clear that I tell you this, it's not for us to write citations. I tell them all the time, I said, look, make the first stop, educate them on what it is they're doing wrong. If you catch them the second time, then write the ticket, But we're going to have a heavier presence on that, and I'll go into some numbers here as well as another reason why we're implementing the traffic unit. We have 2 SROs, one at Monterey High School, one at George Walton Academy. I really need to try to grow the SRO program where I have more officers in the school, especially at Monterey High School. We do have a lot of, you'd be surprised the issues we deal with students there, with social media, threats. You guys know when we were kids, people would say, I'm going to kill you. You didn't think nothing of it. You can't turn a blind eye to those things today. So when somebody says something on a social media platform, we have to thoroughly investigate that. We also have a SWAT team that we train up, so when we execute our search warrant stuff. We just recently got a hold of an MRAP. I don't know if what MRAP is, but it's the up armor vehicles that the military uses. We got it from Columbia County that had one, so we've just renovated everything on it. God forbid we ever need something like that, but we do have an up armor vehicle. If I had an active shooter or something, we can actually deploy that vehicle and deal with the situation. And these are just some of the resources I'm talking about. Now, this is where I want to try to impress you with some of the numbers, is in 2022, how many calls for service do you think we had answered as a organization, Monroe Police Department? How many calls do you think from the citizens we got?
Over a year?
Yes.
A period of a year?
100,000.
25,000.
I hope I never reach that. It's Monroe, not Atlanta.
8,700.
No, so calls for service was 22,467. And that's an actual 911 call that we respond to. So you do the math on that, on a daily basis. Now, area checks, this is where I push this a lot with my officers, that of being seen, because I think the #1 deterrent is officer presence. You never know how much crime you deter just by being in a certain area. any time of the day. Our area checks, we surpassed anybody around us, was 121,712. Now, how many arrests do you think we made last year?
100,000?
8,000. Just a little shy.
You're talking about just City of Monroe.
Y'all know what the population of Monroe is?
Just City of Monroe.
So Monroe is about 15 square miles. Population, if you look it up, it'll say it's around 14,000, 15,000. I think it's way more than that. But just to give you an idea, when you say that the population is, let's say 16,000, and we answered 22,000 calls for service last year, I mean, that kind of tells you something. We made over 860 arrests last year. So that just gives you a number for that. So in 2023, right now, as of January, we've already answered 8,430 calls. We've already conducted 43,000 area checks, and we've already made 330 arrests since January. And see, and Monroe gives you that perception. You look downtown, you're like, man, it's just such a quiet, quaint little town. Like you was talking a minute ago, Charlie, about Andy Griffin. That's the perception it gives you. And it is. It's a great town, and it's changing. It is absolutely changing for the better. But with change comes growth. And with growth comes a lot of people. And with a lot of people comes more problems and issues. And of course, our city council has been very good at supporting us and give us the staffing that we need to be able to deal with that. Now, to get back to what I was saying a minute ago about the traffic unit, accidents. How many accidents do you think we dealt with in 2022?
Too many.
756. 756. And this year already we've dealt with 263. Now, some of the,
how many of those were pedestrian?
oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet we have had them.
In the city, yeah.
Absolutely. We have. And typically alcohol is involved with that. So.
No.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. So one of the things I also want to talk to you about is some of the tools and resources we utilize. Now, how many of you guys have seen those poles that are stationed all around town that I don't know how many people have called me thinking they're speed detection cameras like in Bexar County.
Yeah.
But we initially bought 16 of these cameras, and what they are, they're license plate readers, right? And I'll tell you something real quick about them. It's interesting. It always blows my mind with what it does is it tracks any vehicle that comes within our city and one that goes outside the city. So if we have someone that we're looking for that's wanted for anything, we put it on GCIC, NCIC, it's downloaded in the system. Well, those cameras are connected to that. So if you're wanted and you drive by that camera, it alerts us. And not only does it alert us, it alerts every one of my officers' cell phones. So it'll tell them, okay, RB Watts is on Alcovey right now, and a vehicle just came by here, he's wanted for child molestation or whatever, and I can be the one that can respond to it the fastest because it just alerted my phone. Now, how many vehicles do you think that we have had hits on since January this year?
That might be
Now, you guys, now y'all were throwing some big numbers a minute ago. This is your big number. Since January, we've had 94,321 hits on wanted. Yes, but let me tell you what those are comprised of. The hit categories are supervised release, protection orders, violent person, missing persons, immigration violator, gang or suspected terrorist, anybody with warrants, a stolen vehicle, stolen plate, sex offender, suspended registration, expired tag, which I would think a lot of those are going to be suspended registration or expired tag, or Amber Alert. But some of the major cases, let me tell you what this camera system has helped us with. Just in March, we had one hit, and we were able to get a child molester. We called it that child molester. Last April during Easter, I don't know if y'all remember that homicide we had, it was not before Easter morning. We had a mother that was brutally stabbed to death by her ex-boyfriend. They had a child together, and he actually murdered her in front of her kids, stabbed her to death, and took the little 2-year-old and left the scene. Now, I've been doing this for 26 years, and that night when that incident happened, which was horrible. I had her other children in my office, and I think the oldest may have been 11 or 12. My guys got right on top of this case. We got information on the suspect's vehicle. We put it out there, and immediately tracked that he had went back towards Newton County, He was driving a vehicle that one of my detectives called OnStar, was able to activate the OnStar on the vehicle, and within 5 hours, we had him into custody. But if it hadn't been for the resource of using that flock camera system that told us, you know, hey, this vehicle is traveling back towards Newton County, I don't know how long we've been doing that. And actually, when they activated the OnStar on the vehicle was parked behind the house in a high grass area amongst other vehicles. It backed it in there, but it had tracked it, and we were able to send law enforcement directly to that house and make that arrest. So the tools that are being, you know, available to law enforcement now is amazing to me on what we can get done. Let me catch myself up here. Oh, here you go. This is another interesting fact. How many guns do you think we got off the street last year?
One of those big numbers too.
We got a total of 99 guns off the street last year, 86 handguns, 13 long guns. This year already, we've taken 32 guns off the street since January, 29 handguns and 3 long guns. I mean, those are some very impressive numbers.
How many of those were stolen guns? Do you know that?
Well, a lot of them would be stolen, you know, and like we've said before, I don't know if you've seen our social media posts, which I do not do social media, but I understand that is probably the most effective way of getting information out to society now. And we posted just recently about the lock it or lose it. You know, a lot of people leave their vehicles unlocked, and it's very easy to do, you know, but a lot of it is that, you know, people leave their vehicles unlocked, and they leave weapons in the vehicle. And again, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm very critical of that. I mean, obviously, you know, the dangers of a weapon getting on the street. And we always have a rash of entering autos that are going on this time of year as the school year gets out, and it's going to be primarily juveniles that go around in the middle of the night, which is why, again, I harp on the area check from our officers. They're getting out on individuals all the time that are, you know, wearing dark clothing, riding bicycles. So if you see things like that, please call 911. Just call and say, hey, there's something suspicious about this guy riding a bicycle at 1, if you're out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I hope you're not out at.
Don't ask me any questions.
While I'm talking about that, I don't want to see you out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on your golf cart, because, you know, we're going to stop and check. And that is another issue that we're dealing with. Also, you know, we purchased a golf cart ourselves because we've gotten a lot of complaints of people with their golf carts. And they're going to have to, you know, modify some of the ordinances stuff on that, you know, with the child restraint. They do have to be a 21 year of age licensed driver. The vehicle has to be insured. It has to have all the requirements to be able to operate it on the roads. It can't be on any major highways like Highway 11. It can cross highways, but it's got to stay on the back road.
So they have to be 21, not just licensed.
Well, yeah, no, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. No, it has to be a licensed driver. In between one drink.
That's what I was wondering if there's a correspondence there.
Right. Yeah, I give misinformation. But you know what we're seeing though is, yeah, you met the requirements either way. So. But we're seeing a lot of, you know, young kids driving these golf carts and the dangers that, you know, when you see a person riding a golf cart and they got a little 6-month-old sitting in the front seat, why it doesn't register to them, you know, the dangers of that. And of course, the other thing I'm seeing is I was sitting at LR the other day, and at that red light right there, they're running the red lights in the golf carts because they're just looking like, okay, no big deal. Well, you're still held accountable just like you're driving a regular vehicle. So, and same thing with drinking. You know, I think a lot of people think they can drink and get behind the wheel of a golf cart, and they're not going to be held accountable. Yes, they will be held accountable for DUI driving a motor vehicle. So, just be careful of that, caution that. I'm going to go over some other information I got here. The other tools that we use with the organization, like in my criminal investigation division, how many of y'all have ever heard, like on these phones, that once you delete something, it's gone? It's never gone. And your kids think this. They think when they have these apps on their phone, like Snapchat or whatever, I don't even know what's out there, to be honest with you, I don't. But I can tell you this, my detectives who are younger than I am and more savvy with technology, and we spend a lot of money for the technology to do what we do, they can dump this phone. They have what's called a Faraday box at the police department here, where if I take your phone and I put it in that Faraday box, because some people can remote log in and delete this. from their home computers and stuff. But you put this phone in that Faraday box, there's nothing you can do to erase it. And then they dump that by using a software called Gray Key. Now, let me read this for you here because I'm not really 100% sure on what it is. It says it's used to assist detectives in unlocking phones when the phone's password is not provided, so it can get into it without a password. The device still operates the same if a password is provided. Once the phone is unlocked, it will extract the data detectives need for their investigation. Gray Shift was purchased for the agency by Operation Underground Railroad, which is a child exploitation investigation origination for 2020 because this device has worked so well. MPD purchased it for 2023. So it's helped us a lot, and the thing that we're using it more for is for like child pornography, stuff like that. And I'd like to say and tell you that we don't have any issues with that. You'd be surprised what we have with that. It's crazy. It's sickening to me, so. Then we have another system called Cellbrite. It does something of the similar. So if Cellbrite, or if Gray Key can't get it, then we try Cellbrite and vice versa. We have IDI Core, which is another system we use for public information sources that, to get people's date of births, addresses, locations like that. Leads Online is another system we use. That's Leads Online. It provides detectives with pawn shop information nationwide. It said, if someone has an item like a weapon or something like that, serial number, if they go to pawn it, that Leads Online automatically will alert us and say, hey, somebody's down at a trading place here trying to pawn a stolen weapon. So, but yeah, search warrants. Here we go. Search warrants. The agency as a whole, we executed 122 from last year to date. So 122 search warrants we've executed. The majority of those warrants were executed by a criminal investigation division. They were executed on houses for digital devices, people's DNA, and for vehicles. And that, 122 may not sound like a lot to you guys, but that's a lot of search warrants. There's a lot of information gathering you have to get to build your affidavit to execute a search warrant for different things of that nature. And another program that we started is a drone. And when these guys first came to me, I thought, man, they just want a tool, something to play with, to fly around, right? But ironically, they have to go through a course. Charlie, you would appreciate this. They have to go through a course that's really strenuous. I know it's nothing like being a pilot, but it is. It takes them several weeks to go through this course, and they have to pass all the tests, to be able to get it. And then there's so many regulations of where they can fly them and what they can do with them. But this drone that we have now, where back in the late 90s, 2000s, where if you had a fleeing suspect, I've called Georgia State Patrol, I don't know how many times, to have a helicopter come here with a FLIR system, which is, the infrared that lights it up and you see, to where now I got a little bitty drone that has all the same capabilities to do. He can fly above, he can see the heat, he can do the infrared, he can do all those things with this drone now that's amazing to me. And we utilize it for when we're executing search warrants, or recently GEMA, they just did a training exercise on how do they deploy their people for finding anybody who's wandered off, say like an elder person who's wandered off. And so they were training their people, and they said, can you guys come out and partake in this with us? And we said, absolutely. So we came out, and they were teaching their people how to grid off the section and how to, search with just, several bodies of individuals searching the wooded area. My guys showed up, and they said, oh, here we go. They fired that thing up, sent it across there within like 5 minutes, like, here's your guy right here. So just a lot of improvements in the technology. It's getting beyond what I know. It impresses me all the time when they come and try to talk to me about it. They're like, gee, it'll do this, this, this. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. You got to show me, And they will. They'll show me.
Is they're quiet. They don't know they're up there looking at it.
I'm telling you. When we first purchased it, I tell you what happened. When we first purchased it and they were showing me, I was so impressed. I said, fly that thing to City Hall right now. And I picked up the phone. I called Logan Probst, who's our city administrator. And I said, hey, do me a favor. I said, step outside. And he stepped outside. And we were just sitting right there hovering. And we just wait. And it had a speaker on it. That's another thing. The drone has a speaker on it. So we can talk to him through a speaker. And I was like, this is crazy. But that's just some of the technology that we're utilizing now. I know some of you guys may have some question about the Freaknik that we had this past weekend. And let me just tell you this. So we got wind of it maybe I don't know, 2 weeks prior to it happening, right? And so the people were wanting to have a gathering down at Hammond Park, and we staffed accordingly. We had about 20 officers working Saturday night to deal with this if it was to get out of hand, because I mean, people have a right to peaceably to, congregate and come together. There's no issue with that. The park rules are, the park closes at dark. The park rules are no alcoholic beverages are allowed in the park. Well, later that evening about 6, people started showing up. Well, quickly it becomes overwhelming, even more so than what my 20 officers can handle. Of course, we communicated with Georgia State Patrol, Walton County Sheriff's Office, and still, as long as we're not having any issues, no problem. I think about 6:30 or so, we had a shots fired call. The masses start running. Of course, my officers are already on Hammond Drive trying to get illegally parked vehicles up and down the road cleared out. And then when the people started fleeing the area, they went in to see what they could find, which was sheer chaos. Then you had, empty alcohol boxes where alcohol came in, people smoking marijuana. Yeah, lack of respect. And then they left from there and they'd go to other areas in the city, like the gas stations, and then they were dancing on the hood of the cars, dancing on the roof of the cars. They had one girl fall through the front windshield of a vehicle. And we had complete disrespect for my law enforcement officers. I had one of my lieutenants tell me that he had a guy that had a t-shirt on that said F12, which 12 being police, and he was just beating his chest looking at my officer. And of course, my officer was smart enough and mature enough to say, okay, whatever, you're not touching me, we're not doing anything, so go on with that. They left there, they went over towards the Spruce Lane area across from St. Ives. They were having another block party over there. They had about 200 or 300 cars blocking the area there as well. We immediately responded to that. We called Taylor's Towing Service to tow vehicles that we couldn't get people to get to their vehicles. Again, we were trying to be peaceful about this, and we were, to say, look, you cannot do this. You can't infringe on other people's rights by blocking their homes, blocking their driveways, things of that nature. But by then, you got people that's been drinking and smoking weed. And these were people that were not all from Monroe or Walton County. We had them from Morgan County, from Athens, Clark County, from all over. And so, again, our job was the protection of our citizens and our officers. And the problem that most people don't understand with this, because the argument that keeps coming up is, well, you guys have events downtown, like car shows and stuff like that. Yeah, well, they're sanctioned events, but we have protocols and we have rules and regulations we abide by. Nobody's getting drunk, nobody's laying drags. We had two chases that night. We had one that came out of the park that was laying drag, come off of Baker Street. My guys got into a vehicle pursuit with, ran all the way to Oconee County, and I think the speed's got about 140 miles an hour. And so my guys, they backed out of it and said, we're out of it, and let it go. It was a Hellcat they actually got into it with. Then they had another traffic stop that they stopped on Baker Street, where 2 individuals jumped from the vehicle and fled, ran back towards, Danny McElhinney's insurance back that way, and they caught both of those guys. And both of those guys were wanted. So, yeah. And then another one of my officers got a car with some 2 wanted guys that were just right there, coming from the same area. They admitted on tape they were coming from Hammond Park on Glen Iris, and they had 2 arrest warrants on them. So those were just some of the things that were associated with that. So I don't see, which I'm sure you guys feel the same way, it's not a positive thing, but people who want to have events, they got to be able to have these events and abide by the rules and regulations, the laws. And I say that all the time, whenever I have a permit come across my desk, the number one thing I write on there, it must abide on local city ordinances, state laws, and federal laws. And plus, you need to be able to have the ability for public safety to ingress and egress from the situation. You can't just congregate in the area and block the whole street down. And so I'm sure there's going to be more talks about this going forward, more about the permitting, and I'm sure there may be some amendments to the ordinances and stuff on how we allow our parks to be utilized going forward. But that's just some of the things that we're doing as a law enforcement agency. If you guys got any questions, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them for you best I can. But I want you to know that we have a great organization at Monroe Police Department. And let me just say this, I'm full staff. Ask any other agency around you here and you'll see they are not full staff. And nothing against them, but I do think that we have a really good family organized organization that my officers truly care and love one another, that it's inviting. I have people that are constantly calling me and want to come work for us, and I'm very grateful for the men and women that do the job that they do. But all the agencies I know around us, they got several vacancies in it. And of course, you know, it's a job that most people don't want to do anymore. You don't get in law enforcement for the money, that's for sure. You get in it because you care. You care about, you know, the people and want to make a difference in people's lives. And that's the reason I got in it. I want to be able to help people where I can help them the best I can. Not everybody needs to go to jail. Not everybody needs to get a ticket. If you can make an impact in someone's life and make a change, then that's what we should strive for. Just like you guys were talking about here a minute ago, you know, wanting to help kids out. And I think that's where you make that effective change, is when they're younger, and try to make an impact in their lives best you can. But I'm okay.
Yeah, make sure you grab a flyer.
I'm here with another recreation report. Most of our spring activities are finally concluding. We're in our end of the season county tournament as far as our baseball and softball goes. Then we'll crown a new county champion. So congratulations to those that got to participate in that and those that are playing for the championship here this weekend. Our all-star events will start the first week of June. Starting June 10th and 11th, our baseball and softball teams will play for their all-star county statewide championships. So good luck to our all-star teams. We're still registering for our fall sports program. Our summer sports programs have already finished their registration. So our girls volleyball, we have a massive number of girls that are participating in our volleyball summer program, and then our summer basketball program have completed, and they'll start practicing and playing here pretty soon. But our fall sports programs will go until Sunday of the end of May. So if you want to play in any of our fall sports program, which is our largest organized sports programs that we do, it goes through the end of May. So make sure you get registered for that. With it, and that includes our football, cheerleading, soccer, baseball, softball, and our cross country. So if you're interested in that. Also want to invite you out to our senior aerobics classes. They're doing real well. We're averaging about 75 a day at our senior aerobics classes, and we still have a lot of people going to our community center. So go to our website at waltoncountyga.gov, and you can see all of our programs and see where a park is near you. If you're looking for a birthday party or reserve a pavilion for any type of program, just go to our website and give us a call, or go to one of our community centers and they can help you out and reserve that for you. So until next time, thank you very much.
We're an addiction recovery support center and a recovery community organization. We support people in recovery and that are living with mental health and substance misuse. We support them in a lot of different ways. We have meetings here. We have a Narcotics Anonymous meeting here on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We have a Double Trouble, which is people dually diagnosed. We do that on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. We also do a bi-weekly pottery class. We do peer support for open defects case individuals and just parents that need support while being in recovery. We do parenting classes on Saturday afternoon, and we have a great turnout for our all recovery meeting on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We do individual peer support as well, so anyone who needs to talk to anybody who is in recovery and give them an opportunity to learn and to see what we do and how we do it, because we're all in recovery. Every one of us are in long-term recovery. I've been in long-term recovery for 12 years at this point, and Courtney and I are partners. We opened this place up in 2020, and this is Courtney. She's our executive director. So I'm just going to kind of hand it over to Courtney.
Hey everybody, my name is Courtney Wright, and I'm a person in long-term recovery, and for me that means it's been over 13 years since I have used any drugs or alcohol. Like Kathy said, we are an addiction recovery support center. We are open Monday through Saturday. We are open from 10 to 5 on Monday, 10 to 8, about 8 o'clock on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. Friday is 10 to 5. Saturday is 1 to 4.
These are our peer recovery coaches. This is Natalie.
Hi.
This is Tabitha. We also have Andrea, who's just left. That's we missed her. We have had a wonderful grand opening here today, and we wish that you could have been here earlier and seen all of our big crowd of folks. They came to support us. Everyone, just a lot of people that collaborate with us. Everybody from the Chamber of Commerce to the the hospital, Piedmont, some of the participants there. We've had board members here. We had people that come from MedLink, from DFACS, Georgia Council for Recovery, Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, Probation, Reentry Department, and the list kind of goes on and on. Friends, family members, people in recovery, people that are allies for people in recovery. We are very, very grateful today to be here and to support this community and be such a vital part of it.
All of our services are free, so please come by. If you or anyone you know is struggling with a mental health or substance misuse challenge, please come and see us. And if you're not and you want to donate, please donate. We are a nonprofit organization and we need donations to continue to do this important work. So thank you so much.
And you can do that through our website. WaltonPowers.com. Org.
I don't know. Walton Empowers.
Walton Empowers, and you can find our website online.
And find us on Facebook, please.
Yes, and like us on Facebook.
So we are located right across the street from Breedlove Professional Center in Ridgeview Hospital. It's also right beside MedLink.
700D Breedlove Drive, Monroe, Georgia.
And our phone number is 770-266-6788.
I'm the director here. We are so pleased and honored to host the high school student art show. We have representatives from SCAB come and judge the show, and Gabrielle is here to present awards. If y'all have any questions about our programming here at the Art Center, please let me know. Our gift shop is open tonight. Y'all are free to do some shopping. Anyway, handing it over to Gabrielle.
Thank you, Ms. Hope. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Super excited to be here. I just want to say that first off, all of the work is totally amazing. This has been the best art show I've ever been to. Let's give everybody yourself a round of applause. So I'm here on behalf of Savannah College of Art and Design to present the Best in Show piece this evening. So without further ado, is Jolie Krozik here? What I would like to present you is you have a full expense paid to our summer seminar program that we offer every summer. So that's a week-long vacation to SCAD campus. You'll work with faculty, staff, you'll do great workshops, and just have a really great time. So congratulations, everybody, to Jolie. Thank you so much, Hope, for having me.
If y'all have any questions about SCAD, about either campus, the Savannah or the Atlanta campus, y'all be sure to talk to Gabrielle. She's here to introduce y'all to everything wonderful about SCAD and the great track record they have with placements. So y'all be sure to give her a talk. All right.
Thank you
y'all
all so
enjoy.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Text phone, call the phone, if I don't answer the voicemail, and I'll be back.
We're just practicing.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To me, the most important thing about being in the human race isn't winning. It's participating. Living life to the fullest. Emphasis on living. This is what makes life, life. Yet how much of life are we willing to miss out on? Untreated hearing loss affects our mobility. It increases the risk of falls by 50%. Good hearing health is essential to staying engaged and doing what we love. Hear well and stay vital. Get a hearing health check every year.
Extinction is forever. To save America's most iconic and imperiled species from extinction, we must fight for their future. Fight to save the natural lands that wildlife call home. Fight to limit pollution. Fight for smart development. Fight for their future. And fight for ours. For so goes nature, so goes us.